Hey everyone, welcome, welcome. This is Mompreneurs to Millionaires. So glad you are here. Give me a little wave or a thumbs up if you're watching. So glad to have you. Today we are talking about implementation. Oh my gosh, tell me below, is it ever hard for you to actually get stuff done? Do you feel like you know exactly what to do, but doing it is actually harder? Right? Tell me below, say implementation, if it has been hard for you to actually implement the things that you learn. I think this is such a hard part of being an entrepreneur is that we can download all of the courses, hear the advice, hear the information that we are given, research, listen to other people, right? But actually turning those into our to-do list or the tasks or our done list, right? To me, that is so much harder. So say implementation if you feel like this has been a challenge for you. I see this so much, especially with AI coming out. There is so much information. It is one thing to have an amazing chat with ChatGPT. I do this all the time, some brainstorming sessions, but then you have to do it, right? AI is not necessarily, I think there are some tools that'll actually do it for you, but then you have to implement. It is not about getting more and more information, especially now with AI. Your clients, your audience, they are going to be able to get a lot of information. It is not about getting the right or getting enough information from you. They can get that everywhere. It is going to be about implementing. How do they apply this information in their life, in their business? How are people going to apply this? Implement. To me, implementation is the hardest thing that I see with my clients, with my potential clients, with most women that I meet. I think implementation is one of the hardest things. So that's what we're going to talk about today. So definitely we are going to talk about how to kind of stay motivated and how to kind of whittle away at that to-do list. So I'm excited to share with you, this is my brand new school community. Now, hang on, before you start pushing back on school, I definitely I am a firm believer that Facebook groups is a lead generator. To me, school, if you start with school, I don't think it is a great lead generator. So if you are using school as your lead generator, I would definitely think twice about how you are going to drive people to your school. So I still think it is a classroom, and that is the part that I love. So that is the part that I'm building. I'm calling it the Leads Growth Collective, also known as the Implementation Lab. So if you are ready to actually implement things, take some action, and you feel like that has been the hardest part of your business, okay, you know what to do. It's just a matter of doing it, right? That is what we are going to do in the Implementation Lab. So if you're at all interested, just say lab below. I'm really excited to be offering, it is now just $33 a month, and you get live coaching every single week. We have networking opportunities and daily posts that are going to help you get things done, checking off. You get access to all of my printables, all of my upcoming AI tools. I have some new exciting GPTs that are going to work a little bit special outside of your chat. So they are going to be special tools that allow you to really knock out that to-do list and figure out what it is that you need to move your business forward. So it's going to be a great community. We already have some members over there. I would love to invite you as a founding member. You get to lock in that $33 a month price. It'll be going up probably in August. And so you definitely want to get in on it now. So we get weekly coaching. Our first coaching session will be tomorrow. Bring your questions and answers. Everyone who's in my school community can show up for that every single week. And then we will also have some networking sessions, and it's just a great way to really get to know each other and help us stay accountable. So to me, that is what's really going to be important about this lab, is implementing. So we're going to be talking about all kinds of tools and helpful hints to really, and what you should be working on, right? What are the things that are going to move your business forward? It's not about more information. It is about getting things done. So if this interests you, just say lab below and I'll make sure you get all the details. Awesome. But if you feel like you are stuck in a posting and hoping, right? I was stuck in this cycle, posting and just hoping it would land on the right people. I spent years posting and hoping on social media, and newsflash, it never turned out, right? It never panned out the way I wanted it to. I had a trickle of clients for years, and it wasn't until I actually created my own Facebook group and learned how to use it like a sales funnel, learned how to use it to build relationships and start conversations. To me, that is the biggest mover in your business. It is about relationships. Relationships are actually what is converting, not more content. So if you feel like you are so focused on content that you don't have time to build relationships, I would definitely rethink your priorities. Because to me, it is not about content. It is about relationships, and conversations are what is going to lead you to those relationships. Okay, so if you have any questions about that, of course, send it to me anytime. Thanks so much to everyone who voted. So every week I put out a poll inside this group for in my Facebook group on what to talk about, right? So if there are things that are coming up, burning questions that you felt like if I just knew how to use this tool, or if I just knew a little bit of this strategy, this would really help move my business forward. I would love to hear. Feel free to drop your questions below, or you can always private message me some questions as well. But I love talking about what is affecting you in your business right now. So I want to get to the nitty gritty. I want to get to what is actually going to help move your business forward. So definitely drop your ideas below on what you think would be helpful. But thanks so much to everyone who voted inside the group. You can vote on that poll, or you can suggest topics as well. With that, right, you are a go-getter. So I know that you are here to get one little nugget or a little piece of advice that you can take and move your business forward. We are all here to grow. My big passion in life is that we share resources, access to knowledge. We can all rise together, right? That is my big motto in life. So I'm so glad you're here. With that, I invite you to put on your abundance crown. I'm calling it a crown because you are a goddess within. Every single woman has the power within, and I think we forget that power. I really want us all to take our power back, because you have far more power than you think. Posting and hoping, to me, is a much more passive approach. I'm not saying posting is bad, right? It is good to get your content out there, and it is good, but it is not enough to wait. You have far more power than that. You do not need to wait for lurkers to respond. You do not need to wait, right? You have far more power than that. Plus, you don't have time, right? You don't have time to be waiting until your content magically lands, right? You could be waiting for years, like I was. I wasted years waiting and just hoping that the right people would find my stuff. They never did. You have to go to them. You have to start some conversations. You have to build some relationships. So to me, you have far more power than that. So with that crown, I invite you to write down two things from today's video as I'm talking that jump out at you. Two things that you are going to change your mindset, or an aha moment that you hadn't thought about that in that way before, or two action items that you are actually going to do today. That is even better. If you can write down two action items, I would love to hear. Feel free to drop them below. You can always private message me, but I would love to hear two things that you hear from today's video, and I'd love for you to write them down. That is the best way that you are going to actually implement the things that you hear, right? It is about making change. If you are not happy with where your life is, where your business is, it is up to you, right? Unfortunately, no one is coming to save your business, unfortunately, right? It is up to you. You have the power to change. You have the power to change your mindset. It is up to you to make changes to get different results. So you have the power. With that crown on today, I invite you to write down those two action items. All right. If you are new here, I'm Christina. I love talking about lead generation. To me, if you do not have enough leads coming in your door every single day, it is going to be really hard to figure out what your sales process looks like, right? So that is what we focus on, bringing in predictable flow of leads coming in every day so that you can take them through your sales process. So that is my favorite part, is talking about how to convert those leads, qualified leads coming in, and how to convert them into clients. If that's something you're interested in, you can always say strategy or reach out to me privately as well. But I always say I started my first little Etsy shop, my first little entrepreneurial business back in 2010. Right? So the last 16 years, I have spent trial and error trying to figure out the best way to market a business online. Do you have 16 years to figure this out? No, right? You do not. If you are just starting your business, I don't want you to waste 16 years like I did trying to figure out how to make this work. Here's the thing that I think is so interesting, right? I think as entrepreneurs, because we are go-getters, we are self-reliant, we are DIYers, we are resourceful, right? I know you're resourceful. You've gotten this far, but for sure, right? By doing so many things yourself, figuring it out on your own. And here's what I think that ends up turning into? That ends up turning into proving that you can make a successful business, even though making successful businesses is not what you do, right? We all think that we have to prove this proof of concept. We have to prove what our business is worth, prove that this is a legit thing. But making a business is not your business. Your business has nothing, if your business has nothing to do with building a business or marketing, definitely think about asking for help, right? Because I don't want you to waste 16 years doing it yourself, trial and erroring when other people have done it before, right? Learn all the mistakes that I did so that you don't have to make those mistakes. I want you to jump to your timeline much faster and be successful with your business. You are an expert at what you do. Don't think that you have to be an expert at marketing, right? Unless you're selling marketing services, you do not have to be an expert at marketing in order to have a business, right? Learn from those that have gone before you, that have made all the mistakes, that have been researching for 16 years so that you don't have to, right? You don't have that kind of time. So don't waste your time like I did. So I always say back in 2010, I was smacked in the face with this lesson that online is ginormous, right? The internet is huge. You cannot just build a little Etsy shop and people show up, right? You can't just build it and hope that people come. It doesn't happen, right? They don't come. So what I quickly learned at Etsy is that there were other Etsy shop owners in Facebook groups. So once I learned to connect with other Etsy shop owners, we learned from each other, grew together, and bought from each other, right? That was the best part of that business, is we supported each other. We were each other's best customers, right? And that is what helped us all grow our Etsy shops together. So to me, I'm a firm believer that we rise together, right? Get with the people that are in your network, support the businesses that support your business, right? If you have people that are supporting your business or buying from you, think about if they have a business and you want to support them, right? That is reciprocal. Think about the people in your life who you want to support because they are supporting you. So off my soapbox for a minute, right? But I loved Facebook groups back with that Etsy shop. That really helped that Etsy shop grow. Then my husband and I opened a little brick and mortar bike shop, coffee shop. He liked bikes, I liked coffee, back in 2014. And again, I was smacked in the face with that lesson. You cannot just set up shop. You cannot just build it and hope that people will come, right? Whether that is a website, whether that is your social media profile, you cannot just build it and hope. Right? It's not enough. You have far more power. You have so much more power than that. Take your power back. Go to them. So at the bike shop, I quickly realized, okay, I need people in my door like yesterday. So I quickly got very creative. In fact, I always like to say 2 little funny stories. I would create coloring pages. That's my jam. I love creating coloring pages, and I would take them to all the daycares around town. That was number 1, with a coupon, of course, to come in for a free cup of coffee. And number 2, I made my mother, at 70 years old at the time, she and I walked campus, one of the largest campuses here in my state, and we would put shower caps on bike seats because it rains a lot here, right? And it had a little coupon to come in for a cup of coffee. So we got very creative very fast because we had to, right? And so I always say I learned my marketing degree, I feel like, by fire, because I had to, right? And what was really also successful at that bike shop was we created a Facebook group. So with that Facebook group, we could do events because we needed people to come on bike rides, come for after hours events. It was a great way to build a community of repeat customers around our business. And such a testament to that Facebook group. Here we are 10 years later. We closed the bike shop in 2016. 10 years later, there are still people together wearing our jerseys and going on bike rides under that Facebook group. Right? What a powerful message that people want to belong, right? People want to be seen, they want to be heard, and they want to feel like they belong to something. It's something that grows from the beginning, right? Most people are loyal when it grows from the beginning, right? So I think it's a really great way to think about your business, is building a community of loyal supporters around you. You can grow together, right? They want to grow with you and support you. So it's a great place. I also think the value of the Facebook group is you get to have feedback, right? If you are stuck in a wheel of creating a different offer, well, if this isn't working, I'm going to change my offer, I'm going to change my service, I'm going to change this new program, create a new workshop, create new content, change everything about myself. If it's not working, I would stop and really make sure you are getting feedback from your community before you change anything. Because it is so easy, especially as women, to go down a rabbit hole of, I must need to change something about myself, right? I must need to change it. If it's not working, it's not resonating. If people aren't seeing it, it's not resonating. More than likely, they're not seeing it and they don't know how to respond. It might not be the exact same words, but you're not going to know that until you ask them. You need to ask them where they are in their journey, if this word resonates, if this service resonates. It's probably that the exact service that you are offering will absolutely resonate with them. It might just need a small tweak in how you ask them, right? Or a small change in the title. But it does not mean that you need to keep trial and erroring and figuring it out until it lands, right? You could do that forever until you have direct feedback from your people. So that's a great place that the Facebook group allows you to poll your people. Hey, I'm thinking of doing this freebie. I'm thinking of switching to group coaching. I'm thinking of doing this. What would benefit you, right? What freebie stands out, right? What would you love? What would you love from this space? So that's what's beautiful about the Facebook group is rally your people and ask them questions so that you can get to the root of how you can help them best, right? Where are they on this emotional journey? Okay. So that's the biggest lesson. If you build it, they do not come. And Facebook groups was such a savior. So I think Facebook groups is the easiest place to build that predictable flow of qualified leads coming in every single day and then taking them through your sales process through a conversation that builds a relationship. So that is the easiest way to get people into your world and get them to warm up to your systems, your perspective, all of those things. So if that is something that at all interests you, we are talking all about it over in my New School community. Like I said, it's called the Leads Growth Collective, but also known as the Implementation Lab. This is where we are going to implement things, get things done, so that you can stop guessing what you need to do and you can start doing it, right? We are going to work on the things that I think are the best ways to move your business forward, that I have seen with my clients and I know for myself. And these are the things that we are going to work on that I've seen every successful business have as well. This is the way that we are going to check things off our to-do list. And these are the things to focus. So we're going to have a different focus each week as well as a different focus each day so that it's very easy to figure out, okay, where do you fall? What do you want to focus on out of these important things, right? And most of the things are not going to be content, right? In fact, 99% of the things we focus on over there are not content. So that is not what I think you need to be busy with. I think you need to be busy with building relationships. So that is the majority of what we talk about over there, is getting people to get in your world and start those relationships. To me, that is the best converter, not more content. So if you're at all interested, just say lab below. The Implementation Lab is where we are going to get things done. And as a founding member, I would love to invite you for $33 a month. The price will be going up probably in August, like I said. And you get live coaching with me every week, as well as daily tasks to implement in your business to move it forward. So I would love to have you over there. Just say lab below, and I would love to invite you. Awesome. So today we're going to talk about the 3 ways to implement, right? Speaking about implementation, this is the hardest thing I think most businesses struggle with, is how to get things done, right? We download all of this free information or take a low ticket course or even pay for higher end coaching. But it is more, if people are telling you what to do, the next step is doing it, right? And that can be so hard. So again, tell me below if implementation is really hard for you. I think this is one of the hardest steps as an entrepreneur, because it's easy to go down a rabbit hole of, well, I could try this. I could have a brainstorm session with chat. I could try this. Oh, I heard I should try this. Maybe I should think about that. Maybe I should create this. But it's all in this decision making, right? And decision making is really wears you down. And I think that's often where burnout comes, right? If content isn't working, I think that is a place for burnout. And if decision making keeps you trapped in kind of a stalled out loop, that can also be exhausting, right? Because you don't know the next move. So here's the thing. If you don't know the next move, again, join the Implementation Lab. I would love to help you with that next move. But the first step, I think, is to get motivated. So oftentimes, if things are not working, you really need to get motivated, right? So if you feel like motivation is challenging for you, feel free to just say motivation, right? I think there are a number of ways to get motivated, but often if we are stuck in a rut, if we feel like things are not working, it is really easy to go down a downward spiral, right? To really keep thinking, oh my God, nothing's working, right? And then things continue to not work. So the best way to up spiral and think about, okay, what is working? That is going to be much more motivating. So find the small wins, right? I think it's really important to celebrate your small wins, but then mark it down as evidence, right? Take a little note of evidence, whether this is, I like to write down 4 pieces of gratitude every single day, right? This really helps me look back at the day and realize, okay, here were 4 things that I really loved and I'm really grateful for. But if this is about your business, write down about your business. What is evidence that helped you move forward, right? What is evidence that this is working? And focus more on that, as opposed to, so often we are like, well, that post didn't go anywhere. Well, that launch didn't go so well. Well, that workshop, nobody showed up. Oh, that live, nobody showed up, right? And it's so easy to get talked down to ourselves, right? And so definitely motivation, I think, is a big thing. So I would definitely think about, what are the stories you are telling yourself, and where is there evidence that it is working? Because then if you can focus on those things that are working and what you're grateful for, that is how you're going to build that up spiral and build that motivation to help you move forward, right? So number one, I think, is motivation. The other things that I think are really motivating are, I think, books about people who have done it. To me, that is the most motivational thing, because when I hear other people do it in a different perspective, I think, oh my God, I could do it too, right? When I hear other stories, oh my God, I could do it too, right? So I think books are a really great inspiration to get motivated. And then I also think talking to other people, right? Being a human and having some coffee chats and getting to know other people and speaking your message. I think that really builds confidence. So whether it's going on lives that nobody shows up to, right? Keep practicing. Whether it is putting yourself out there, making that post that feels scary, right? To me, that is more of a good practice for you. Less of a lead generation, right? Unfortunately, I would not put all your eggs in the content basket for lead generation. But it's a great practice for you to practice getting your message out there, practice telling your story, and that builds confidence and gets you motivated, right? Because if you're like, oh, I really like the way I said that. I'm really killing it. This is really awesome, right? That will be motivating. So number one is figure out what motivates you and really focus on the good things and the evidence that things are working. That is the best way to really get motivated to implement, right? To me, I think that's the first step. The second step is really prioritize, right? And this is really hard because you've got to set that to-do list, figure out, okay, what is my one goal for today, right? Or what is my main goal for the week? Or what are the things I'm really going to focus on? Because we often get stuck in kind of a rut, right? We tend to figure out a schedule that kind of works for us, or we get busy with the kids, and we have our home life, we might have a work life, we might have multiple things going on. And so schedules sometimes really intervene and decide for us what we focus on, right? So I think it's really important, one, to kind of get quiet to figure out what is your priority. What are the things that are actually going to move your business forward? And this is hard, right? It's hard to know what to do next. It's hard to know if nothing is working, it's hard to know where to focus, right? And that is exactly what we work on in the implementation lab, because I have figured out the tasks that move your business forward, that income generating tasks, and it's not content, right? The things that are actually going to move your business forward, those are the tasks that we focus on, and we hold each other accountable, right? So that is really the third piece then, is this accountability. So you can, number two, prioritize and set your to-do list. Like, what is important? And it is not going to be the things that keep you busy, right? I think that is the trap that many of us fall into. Well, I've got to write this. I've got to I do this on Tuesdays. I do this on Wednesdays. I do this. Oh, I've got to catch up on this. Oh, I've got to send that email. Oh, this person, I got to respond, right? And so we so easily get distracted, right? Social media takes us down these rabbit holes for sure. Oh, look at this video on the next greatest thing, right? Oh my God, Instagram. Oh my God, her LinkedIn looks really amazing. Maybe I should focus on LinkedIn. Oh, that's such a good idea. Maybe I should do that. It is so easy to get distracted on social media, but then that tends to paralyze us, right? If we have too many things to think about, too many decisions to make, we will typically stop, and then that will stall you out trying to figure out what the next step is. So that is definitely something that we focus on in the implementation lab. Here's the next step for your business. And we have live coaching coming up tomorrow. Tomorrow's our first live coaching Q&A as part of the school community, where you can ask your questions so we can dive deep into your specific business, and we can talk about what I think would be the best bang for your buck next step for you and your business. So if you're at all interested, again, just say lab. So number two, we said priorities. Number three is accountability, right? So once you set your to-do list, then it's holding yourself accountable. And it's great to have accountability partners. And that is another great step that is going to be happening in the implementation lab, is we are going to hold each other accountable. We have a scorecard, a weekly scorecard. So you can be keeping track of the things and the tasks that are going to move your business forward, not the things that don't move your business forward, right? Not the things that keep you busy for being busy, right? I don't think you need to be busy just to stay productive. I think doing less is far more productive than doing more, right? If there are too many things on your to-do list and you're like, I am far too busy to learn a new strategy, I always say this too, right? If you do not have enough clients, but you are too busy to learn a new strategy, I would take a hard look at your priorities, right? Because if things are not working, I would definitely want you to think about a different strategy, because if things are not working, more of that is not going to magically change, right? It's either going to be a mindset shift or a strategy shift that is really going to make the biggest difference in your business. Staying stuck is not going to magically change. Doing more of the thing that is not working, if you don't feel great about it and it's not working, more of that is not going to magically change your business, unfortunately, right? And so tell me below if you've ever felt stuck, right? If you've ever felt stuck and you don't know the next step, I think that is one of the hardest parts of being an entrepreneur. Again, is we are told so many different strategies and so many different things. It's hard to know where to focus. And that's where I think really having an outside vision, an outside view come in of someone who has succeeded and has seen what works, to be able to come in and look at your specific business and say, hey, have you thought about this? I think this is the place that's the bottleneck, right? I think this is the part that is holding people back, or this is the part that is holding your own mind back, right? This might be the fear that's creeping up that is keeping you small, right? I think I see this so much. I think fear of being salesy is one of the biggest fears I see as entrepreneurs, especially as women. There are so many women who have a beautiful message and they are afraid of being too salesy. They are afraid of being direct. And I am here to tell you, no one is worried about you being too direct, right? If anyone has told you, I would love to hear, has anyone ever actually told you you are too salesy? Right? If not, then you need to push your limits a little bit, right? Stretch out into your stretchy zone and really think about who you need to tell about your business or where you need to talk about your business, because it could very well be that there is an aligned place that you feel good about serving your clients. To me, if you have that burning desire inside of you that this business is for real and this transformation is important and you need to share it with the world, there's somebody out there who needs that. There's somebody who needs that right now. Somebody who needs your experience, your life challenges, your perspective right now. So they need to hear that. You need to get that message out there. And if you're not, you are doing them a disservice, right? That person needs you. If you have that desire inside you, there is a demand and somebody needs that right now. So get your message out there. You have far more power than that. All right, so that is really what I think are the three movers for implementation. If you are not sure how to implement or what to do next, feel free to just say lab below, because I would love to meet you over in the implementation lab where you can actually make moves and get things done that is actually going to move your business forward. These are the tasks that are actually going to create income. So I would love to have you over in the lab. Just say lab below. But don't waste years like I did, right? Like I said, I wasted so many years stuck in a posting and hoping and not knowing how to move forward. I thought that was all I had control over. You have far more control. You can go to them, start a conversation, and move your business forward. You don't need to wait. You don't need to wait for the lurkers to finally stand out. You don't need to wait for people to take action, right? It is really hard to get people to take action outside of your Facebook group. Far easier to get people to take action inside your Facebook group. So to me, that is the biggest advantage, to take advantage of Facebook groups. I think it's a great strategy for lead generation. But like I said, we are building the Facebook group is still running and it's still going to be going. And I love the Facebook group. There's always going to be free content over there. I would love for you to, of course, stick around there, but we are also building the implementation lab where we are actually going to hold each other accountable and get things done over in school. So this is a paid community. It is just $33 a month for founding members. So that will be probably until August. And then the price will be going up. So I would love to get you in on a founding member price so that you can get all the goodies. And the goodies are included that are going to be a weekly coaching Q&A session with me, all of my AI tools, all of my printables that I create, as well as exclusive trainings and that daily implementation challenge and our weekly implementation goals, as well as a monthly bingo card. So the monthly bingo card, again, is going to be a great way to, if you just need to jump in and figure out what to do next, what should I do next, pick anything on the bingo card, right? That's a great, easy way to jump in if you're not sure what to do next. Awesome. Of course, if this is something that you feel like, oh my God, another DIY thing, right? We have all signed up for lower ticket entry level courses or communities or memberships. If this is something where you're like, I just need someone to actually build my business with me and tell me exactly what I need to do for my business. And that is where one-on-one support comes from, right? I really think a one-on-one coach, like I said, having that 30,000 foot view for your specific business for a prolonged period of time is so helpful in moving your business forward. If you at all want to talk about one-on-one support, I would love to support you, because I think there are people who love doing it themselves, and there are people who really could just use a roadmap and someone to tell them what to do. So if you're in the camp of ready for, done with trial and error, done with doing it yourself, and you are ready for someone to tell you what to do, just say strategy below. I would love to chat with you about a roadmap that can actually get you there faster. One-on-one support is the quickest way to get you to your goals, and I would love to help you get there. So if you're at all interested, just say strategy below. Awesome. All right, I think that is it for today. I always like to leave you with a quick mindset, right? To me, every successful coach I have met uses other coaches, right? That is going to be the quickest way to up-level your business. If you are feeling stuck and you are ready to learn from someone who has done it, again, I think hiring a coach is the best way and the quickest way to move your business forward. You don't have years, right? You don't have 16 years to figure it out like I did, right? So don't waste years like I did. Learn from the mistakes I made so that you can get there much faster. All right, that is it for today. Thanks for sticking around.